All right, so we're taking a look at page 141, and we are going to basically learn how to play these. Now, if we take a look at this first example, we want to basically determine a finger number system first. Now, let's take a look at our key signature. We have 5 flats, which means we're in the key of a D flat major. Okay, if you need a trick for this, if I write down the flats, B, E, A, D, G, okay, that's our flats. The key is going to be the second to last flat in the key signature. Since the second to last flat is D, that is our major key. Now, there's always a chance that this could have been composed in the relative minor, which if you go down a minor third from D flat, would be the key of B flat minor. But since we start on D flat and we end on D flat, it's a pretty strong indication that we are not in the key of B flat minor, but rather in the key of D flat major, which in this case we are. Now, let's talk about how to determine fingerings when you have lots of black keys like this. No matter how many black keys you have, no matter how many flats or sharps you have in a key signature, in a traditional major or minor scale, you will always have at minimum 2 white keys. Why is that? Because within any given octave, there are only 5 black keys. Doesn't matter where you start, there's always 5 black keys within an octave. And since major and minor scales both contain only 7 notes each, that means even if you have all 5 black keys, 2 of them must be white keys. So when you're dealing with key signatures with 5 sharps or 5 or more flats, note that you will always have 2 white keys, so long as there's not additional accidentals. In such cases, it's actually easier to just locate the white keys. So that's what we're going to do. We have B, E, A, D, and G, which means we have C and F naturals. So I'm going to highlight those. I've got an F natural here. I've got an F natural here. I have a C natural here, a C natural here, and that's it. Those are my white keys. Because those are my only white keys, it's highly probable that I will be playing my thumb on many of them, if not all of them. Because here's the rule. If at all possible, refrain from using your thumb on a black key. Okay, we want to avoid using our thumb on a black key. Now, why is that? So I'll show you, just zooming in the keyboard. Let's look at some differences between the white and black keys. White keys are longer. White keys are wider. And also, if I show you another vantage point here, black keys are taller. Now let's take a look at the way our hands are formed. Our thumbs are lower, they're shorter, and they also move sideways, okay, to a degree when we play. All right, what does this mean? It's easier for our thumbs to play the white keys. Okay? For the thumb to play the black key, we've got to move our hand forward. We have to raise our thumb higher, even though normally our thumb kind of sits lower than our fingers. Okay? So all this is to say, we try to play the white keys with the thumb whenever possible. All right. So now that we've established this fact, let's write in where the thumbs play. Thumb is going to play on that F in the right hand. Thumb is going to play on the C on the left hand. Because the last note is alone, we don't need to use our thumb there. We're probably using, zoomed out there. We'll probably be using 5th finger there. Okay? And our thumb is going to play on this C over here in the right hand. Based off of these positions, we can determine the remainder of the fingering. So let's work here in the first bar. If we look at the first bar, if your thumb is on the F, Okay? That means to go backwards, we have 2 black keys here. It means we'll use 2 and 3. 2 and 3 on those 2 black keys. So it starts on 2 and 3. 2, 3, 1. Then we have 2 more black keys. Well, what fingers are you going to use? If thumb is on F, second finger, then third finger. So 2, 3. So you can try that first measure with me. Starting on D flat, D2, 3, thumb on F, 1, 2 black keys, 2, 3. Really simple. If you look at the left hand here, our thumb is on the C, but we have a D flat that precedes it. Well, the easiest finger would be second finger. You could use other fingers, but that would require crossing over the thumb. And the second finger will require the least amount of motion, so that's easier. So 2, 1. Second finger D flat, thumb on C. Then we have 2 black keys, so 2, 3. Notice how we're just using this most logical fingering possible. So 2, 1, 2, 3. Then we go to F, 5. 2, 1, 2, 3, 5. That's easy. If I look at the next measure, I have a G flat, an A flat, and ultimately a B flat. That's 3 black keys. I don't want to use my thumb on a black key, so I'm not going to start with 1. So I'll start with 2. So we have 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. Thumb on C, and second finger on D flat, since that follows the thumb. 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Very simple. The left hand, we have 3 D flats. This will just be 5, 1, 5 in this case. We are using a thumb on a black key here. So I mentioned that whenever possible, we want to avoid using the thumb on a black key. That's true so long as there's not a simpler finger that actually involves the thumb on the black key. Because in this case, it's an octave. We could do 5, 2, 5, but that would require shifting. So in this case, it's much easier to just spread our hands open and use the thumb on the black key. Okay? So that means for this example, it'll sound like this. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 5. 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 5, 1, 5. And that's how it sounds in tempo.